In the first round of the National League, commencing at 3:30. Here in Ballybofey on next Sunday, Donegal beats Killybegs.
And you're welcome back once again to McCumhaill Park here. Mick McGrath, of course, your referee for today's championship match between the near neighbours and old rivals Killybegs and Naomh Columba. Team captains taking the toss and shaking hands there in the middle of the park. Seamus Carr, the right half forward for Naomh Columba, a very dangerous player, of course, on his day, captain in them, and inter-county star Barry McGowan, captain in Killybegs. Well, Michael, the scene's set. I think everyone is hoping, perhaps even more so than anticipating, a great final here today. The club championship has been something of a back burner situation all summer because of Donegal's run in the championship, but a fitting final because these two obviously are perhaps the best club sides in the county, although maybe people Great Hughes wouldn't agree with that.
Well, I think like it's been proved this last number of years that the football stronghold within the county is in the southwest, and we have to admit that. And these are two of the great stalwarts of the game down there. You know, there's so much Donegal football talent on display today. We had a fortnight or three, we were marvelling at our victory there in Croke Park. But when we look at both teams here today, we see a lot of those gladiators from that day performing here today. Looking at Killybegs there, I mean, they're boasting Barry Cunningham, Barry McGowan and Manus Boyle there, and then and the Naomh Columba team, you have Paddy Hegarty there and John Joe Doherty. You know, when you look at both teams there, you could nearly say it's a battle of the families, as it were. If you on the panel for the Columba there, you have the four Hegarty brothers there, Michael home from New York for the day there, and you look at the Killybegs team, you have the connections there too. You have Dennis and Paul Carberry in the full back line. You have the two Gallaghers, Connell and John Bond. You have the two Boyles, Mark and Declan. Then you have Jimmy White, a brother-in-law of Noel Hegarty is there. So you could nearly say it's the families, as it were, that are battling it out. But looking at the game itself there, Killybegs, of course, they would appear on paper to be the stronger of the two sides, but not taking away from that. I always have to look at the fact of the great battlers that Naomh Columba are. They're the type of team that you could feel you had them on the ropes, and all of a sudden they come back at you, as it were there. The Killybegs strong points, I would think, there's a lot of experience there. Dennis Carberry at full back and Paul at left half. Then that half back line of Peter McGinley, Barry McGowan and Francis Murray, who's replacing the injured, or the not injured, but the out of favour John Cunningham, who, as we know, himself and John Lynch got the line here. The centre field, John Bang Gallagher and Barry Cunningham. Now that centre field of a strikes form will be very, very hard to beat. The centre half forward, Declan Boyle, a man they'll be looking a lot to, and then full forward, Manus Boyle. So if you look at the Killybegs team up the centre, you have Dennis Carberry, fullback, Barry McGowan, the two centre fields, Declan Boyle at number 11 and Manus Boyle at 14, and Jimmy White himself in there in the corner. Very, very strong there. At the same time, if you look at Naomh Columba, you have the two Gavigan brothers there, Connell number 2, Sean number 4, John Paul Curran at fullback there, never really plays a bad game. You have John Joe Doherty at centre half. What can you say about the man? I mean, he came on to a Donegal team there in Croke Park, didn't know he was playing until he arrived in Dublin, and delivered what I would consider one of the great wing half displays of the championship this year. Centre half forward, you have Noel Hegarty. Full forward, Aidan Burke, maybe a very underestimated full forward. Then centre field, you have Paddy Gavigan and Paddy Hegarty. Now, Paddy Gavigan, I've never seen him play a bad game in the Columba colours. He's one of those great club men whom other clubs envy, the type of man who doesn't give not alone 100% but 110, and then he's flanked there by Paddy Hegarty. So that in itself will have a big bearing on the game, the outcome of the two Paddies there for Naomh Columba, Gavigan and Hegarty against John Bon Gallagher and Barry Cunningham. Seamus Carr there at right half forward, another ex-county man, very, very sharp captain of the team there. all in all, I suppose, if you were to go on what has been written in the papers and one thing and another, your Killybegs would be seeming to get the nod there, but I would be inclined to be, while they have a lot of talent, be very wary of Columba on account of the type of dogged football that they play. They never give up. They're there all the time, as it were. And in the final analysis, this game, I feel, could be all decided in the last 5 minutes.
Just looking at some of the situations on Naomh Columba's side, it's interesting the way they're lined out. I mean, I was surprised if Noel Hegarty actually starts at centre half forward. They started him there against Red Hughes, but it became very obvious that they needed him very badly at midfield. And likewise, John Joe at centre half back. He really only played his best football when he went into full back in that semi-final. And with the Killybegs situation, I'm surprised to see Declan Boyle named at centre half forward. I don't expect he'll play there really, and a little bit of obviously psychological warfare going on between the two sides there.
Well, I would say, Charlie, it'll probably end up like a big game of drafts before it's over. But looking at both things there, like if you take that diamond formation there with the centre half, the two centre field and the centre half forward, and it's the same on both sides there. I would feel myself that John Joe Doherty will probably maybe operate as a third centre field man at time, and Noel Hegarty, and the same will apply in the Killybegs thing there, where you would have Barry McGowan moving out and Declan Boyle moving in as well. So all in all, strategy, as you say yourself, could play an important part in it. But with experienced players like Doherty, the two Gavigans and Noel Hegarty, McGowan, John Cunningham, Cunningham and Declan Boyle, those fellas can adjust themselves to particular situations as they arise there.
Well, just as we talk, where they're actually ringing the changes already, Peter McGinley has gone into the full back line, and Michael Campbell would appear as if he's come out to the half back line to mark Seamus Carr. We also have Francis Murray, who's been named at left half back, moving to right half back. Seamus Carr's gone into full forward, in fact. So both teams really ringing the changes as we expected. Paddy Hegarty has gone to centre half forward for Naomh Columba. Declan Boyle's gone to centre half back for Killybegs. So there's changes all over the park. In fact, Barry McGowan is at midfield Barry McGowan's at centre half forward, I should say, and he will be marked by John Joe Doherty, who is in fact starting at centre half back with Barry McGowan at centre half forward. So there's changes all over the park, and the St Catherine's band from Killybegs are going to plays into the final with Aran Naveen. Catherine's band from Killybegs playing us in. Referee Mick McGrath will wait till they exit the park before starting this game. McGrath, who took charge of the final in 1990, he's also taken charge of a couple of senior championship finals in London while he was resident there, and of course refereed the Ulster Inter-County Championship match earlier this year between Antrim and Fermanagh. So an experienced official, the Ballyshannon man. And speaking to him just a short time ago, he said he would be keen to let this game flow as much as possible. He feels that there's two good footballing sides out here, and he certainly will hope to play his part and allow a free-flowing game. Conditions are absolutely ideal for football today. There's hardly a breath of air here in Ballybofey. The pitch is in brilliant condition, and credit to the St McCool's club really for that. They always have McCumhaill Park really looking well, but today it looks particularly good. Killybegs will attack the river from the end. We're almost ready for the off. The St Catherine's band making their way off the park. Mick McGrath has the ball in his hands. Paddy Gavigan and Noel Hegarty in direct opposition to Barry Cunningham and John Van Gallagher. So plenty of inter-county experience in the midfield area. All have played for Donegal in their time. Hegarty knocked it down to Paddy Hegarty, the quick ball in. But it's Carberry who gets out there. Carberry, the big full back. Dennis Carberry knocking the ball out. He gives it out to Francis Murray. In for the suspended John Cunningham. A long ball forward. A little bit of a mix-up there between two defenders, but it comes to John Paul Curran. He doesn't pick it up. It comes to Jimmy White. Jimmy White's got Barry McGowan in oceans of space. Barry McGowan homing in towards the 21-metre line. Took it on the hop steps round John Joe Doherty. There's a chance of an opening score. Barry Cunningham over elaborated a little bit, and his shot was half blocked. and the ball cleared out there by Sean Gavigan. Sean Gavigan to Michael McNeilis, the man who was the manager of Naomh Columba in 1990 when they won. McNeilis was very close to the sideline. Boyle tried to push him out over. The referee decided it was a free. Declan Boyle gets his foot to that one. He knocks it to Barry Cunningham. Back to Declan Boyle. He had a great second half against Red Hughes. Declan Boyle takes it from Barry McGowan. Declan Boyle to John Van Gallagher. Back to Declan Boyle again. This is super play. Declan Boyle, strong tackle there and a very good tackle. Declan Boyle chips the ball to Jimmy White. Jimmy White knocks it out there to Paul Callaghan. Paul Callaghan into County Star, knocks it forward, but Ewan McIntyre got hands to it, but the ball comes to Mark Boyle. John Joe Doherty got hands to it. John Paul Curran couldn't get there. The ball comes out to Connell Gallagher, or Connell. High one, dropping inside the edge of the small parallelogram. Danger in there, well taken by Paddy Gavigan. Paddy Gavigan under pressure inside his own small parallelogram, and the ball goes wide, and certainly a very good quick opening start. Sharp football by both sides. Killybegs putting together some sweeping movements, but Barry McGowan had a good opportunity there, Michael McGee, to take an early score. Perhaps it would have been better to take the score from 20 metres out.
Well, as you said there, when he got that ball, he had oceans of space in front of him there on the 40-metre line. He elected to run for goal, and I felt myself with his experiences, when he got to the 21-metre line, he should have tapped it over. Instead of that, he tried to round two backs, and you don't do that against this type of county final football.
The ball knocked forward. John Paul Curran was fouled there by Manus Boyle as he came out past him. It's going to be a free out. John Joe Doherty thought about a short one. John Paul Curran took it out of the hands. Francis Cunningham does well ahead of Michael McNeilis. He's fouled by McNeilis. Francis Murray, of course, who has been brought in, as I said, into the half-back line in place of the suspended John Cunningham, who I'm sure will be very sad at missing this. Barry McGowan going forward, seemed to be fouled by John Joe Doherty. Referee says play on. Manus Boyle has it now. Manus Boyle, a good intelligent ball across to John Van Gallagher. John Van gives it into Paul Callaghan. Paul Callaghan from 25 metres out swings it, and that's the opening score of the game, and it comes from the minor county star Paul Callaghan. A very good score from him. And we'll take this opportunity to say a big hello to some fishermen from the Killybegs area who were told, got late news last night that they had to get out to see Jackie Meehan, father of David, and Connell Gallagher, who's the father of both Connell Jr. and John Ban. A very good afternoon to you both, and to all your mates out there fishing. We hope you enjoy our coverage of this afternoon's game, and Killybegs have got the opening score, so I'm sure that will keep you pretty happy at this stage anyway. This is Paddy Hegarty. Paddy Hegarty picking up possession and bursting forward. Declan Boyle trying to close him down. Paddy Hegarty's on the ground, a hand on his shoulder, and it's going to be a free. Paddy Hegarty wanted to take it quickly. A good intelligent ball in, and there's Campbell's there, but there's danger in there. Campbell did very well. Now he's picked up by Carberry. Carberry plays a long ball out. A very, very good ball comes to Barry Cunningham. Barry Cunningham knocks it forward quickly to Connell Gallagher. Connell Gallagher wasn't able to take it close to the sideline. Gallagher's best effort is keeping it in field, and it's going to be a sideline ball to Naomh Columba. And a good open game of football so far. There's only 3.5 minutes gone, but both sides look pretty fit and pretty sharp. And it looks as if we could have a very exciting inter-club final. Barry Cunningham swung the boot there, but it had already been a foul against Paddy Hegarty for holding Declan Boyle, so it's going to be a free. Michael Campbell has moved out to the half-back line, of course. He is marking Paul O'Donnell, who's playing at right half forward. Seamus Carr's in at full forward, and the man who was named at full forward, Aidan Burke, is playing in the right corner. The man who was named at right corner, Michael Cunningham, is playing at left corner. So changes all over the pitch here for Naomh Columba, particularly in the forward line. Their defence, it's playing very much as was named. The ball's knocked forward there. Paul Callaghan's had a good lively opening to the game, tackled there by Desi Cunningham, but he gets the ball back to Declan Boyle. Declan Boyle plays a long ball across looking for his brother Mark, but Mark's going to be beaten to that one by the Naomh Columba defender. Very good defending there by Ewan McIntyre. Ewan McIntyre gives it back to John Joe Doherty. John Joe bursting forward. Barry McGowan trying to close him down. John Joe steps into the right foot. Good play by John Joe. He gives it inside. It wasn't a great pass, but good play there by Michael Cunningham. He gives it back to John Joe Doherty. He knocks it inside looking for Ewan McIntyre. Ewan McIntyre going forward. Paul Callan trying to tackle him, but Ewan McIntyre still in possession. Loses possession, however. Carberry's there, but the ball's knocked forward again. This one comes to O'Donnell. O'Donnell seemed to be fouled, and the referee, he was fouled twice there, in fact. It was Michael Cunningham who was fouled there in possession. There's really ringing the changes all over the forward line here in Naomh Columba, but this should be a pretty elementary situation for inter-county star Noel Hegarty, who remarkably is a leading goal scorer in this campaign for Naomh Columba. 21 metres out, dead straight in front of goals, and he scores the equalising point. We're just past the 5th minute. It's Killybegs 1 point, Naomh Columba 1 point. Little to choose this between the sides as yet. Killybegs have put together a couple of very, very good sweeping movements, quick football, as is their hallmark, of course, but it hasn't resulted in scores apart from Paul Callahan's well-taken effort. They had a couple of other opportunities. On the other hand, Naomh Columba, economy of movement for them, of course, using the long ball, much more than Killybegs, but their equalising score coming in the form of a Noel Hegarty free. Just over 5.5 minutes gone. David Meehan on the 21-metre line. Francis Murray was fouled there by Michael McNeilis, just inside his own half, and it's going to be a free. Peter McGinley, who's playing at corner back at the moment, gives it forward to Francis Murray. Murray looking for support, plays the ball forward to Barry McGowan, the Killybegs captain, outside the 45-metre line, plays it in looking for Manus Boyle. Manus Boyle fouled John Paul Curran. He's coming out to tell Mick McGrath that his jersey was being ripped off him, and Mick McGrath not too happy about Manus Boyle's decision to question his decision, and he takes the free out, and now Manus Boyle is going to get his name in the book, and this is very, very foolish by Manus Boyle. The referee isn't going to change his mind when he's awarded a free, and after taking the ball out, Manus Boyle continued to talk. He may have been held, but the referee didn't see that. He awarded the free against him. And Michael, I think Manus should be a bit more experienced than that, really, at this early stage of the game. His name's in the book, and he's under pressure right away now.
Well, once your name goes into the book, of course, another offence and you're on the line, as it were. I mean, Manus Boyle playing inter-county, he's played in an All-Ireland final, he's been our star in Croke Park. He must learn that you accept the referee's decision, because the referee's decision is final. You don't question it.
The free's taken. John Joe Doherty takes possession there. Plays the ball forward low, looking for Seamus Carr. Seamus Carr well out from goal. He's got support from this side from Paddy Gavin. Seamus Carr's worming his way through. Good ball. Well, just overhit there to Paddy Hegarty, and it's picked up by Declan Boyle. Declan Boyle looking up to see what he can do. Boyle plays the ball across his own goals. Not a very intelligent ball there, but John Van Gallagher gets the benefit of deflection. He knocks it forward to Campbell. Michael Campbell gives it back to Dennis Carberry. Dennis Carberry trying to, strong challenge by Dennis Carberry, and Noel Hegarty came in a bit late on him, and certainly I don't think Hegarty was pleased with Carberry's tackle initially, and certainly one or two little bits of temper flaring there in the early stages here, but nothing too serious. Mick McGrath on top of the game so far. He's been right there where the action is. 7.5 minutes gone. Low scoring game so far, just a point apiece. Killybegs opening the scoring through Paul Callahan after 2.5 minutes. Noel Hegarty scoring from a free after 5 to get the equaliser. This game brought to you in association with Heaney's U Drop In, Navanny Street and Ballybofey. The breaking ball comes to John Paul Curran. He knocks it back to cornerback Sean Gavigan. Gavigan plays a poor ball right across. That'll be picked up by Michael Campbell. Campbell inside his own half, fists the ball forward looking for Mark Boyle. Boyle's under pressure near the sideline, but he does well. He knocks it into his brother Declan. Declan on the halfway line, now making ground into the Killybegs half, loses possession initially. Paddy Hegarty trying to close him down. He gives it to John Van Gallagher. John Van Gallagher thought about the pass, fires it in, but a very poor finish there by John Van Gallagher. And Killybegs certainly very wasteful in possession, indeed as they were against Red Hughes in the semi-final game. Lots of good possession, but the final ball into the forward line has been very poor so far. Barry McGowan having a word with Conal Gallagher. It was interesting on that occasion when John Van Gallagher shot, there wasn't a Killybegs man inside the 21-metre line of Naomh Columba, and perhaps the midfielder will feel that he had no option but to shoot. But it stays. Killybegs 1 point, Naomh Columba 1 point. We've gone almost 9 minutes in the game. Kevin Doherty with the ball on the edge of the small parallelogram. Killybegs attacking the River Finlay end in this first half. There's hardly a breeze here. Ideal conditions for a county final. Noel Hegarty up high and grabs it magnificently, facing his own goal. Tackled by 3 Killybegs men, forcing his way through. Finally awarded the free. The referee decides he was over-carrying, in fact, and awards the free against him. And Manus Boyle from 46 metres will attempt to, 45.5 now as he brings it forward another half step, will attempt to open his account. Manus Boyle, the man who kicked 9 points in the All-Ireland final 3 weeks ago, of course, coming forward. It's got height, it's got distance, but lacking in accuracy. And the Naomh Columba crowd behind the goals there greet that one, as the Canal End did a few weeks ago with green and gold flags, but in delight at the ball going wide. Kevin Doherty with the ball on the edge of the small parallelogram again. Almost 10 minutes gone in the first half. Only a point apiece so far, a low-scoring game. Both sides beginning to find their feet. Doherty's kick out, dropping inside his own half. Barry Cunningham, beautiful feeding from Barry Cunningham. Flicks the ball there to Francis Murray. The breaking ball comes to Mark Boyle, surrounded. Gives it back to Declan Boyle, just inside the Naomh Columba half. Knocks it forward, well read there by Gavigan. In at corner back, gives it out to Paddy Gavigan. Paddy Gavigan plays the ball forward into the corner. Peter McGinley's beaten there, however, by Michael Cunningham. Good play by the corner forward. Michael Cunningham's fouled. He's got a man outside him. He's got a man away to this side as well. He gives it in to the full forward, Aidan Burke. Aidan Burke decides to shoot. Not a good decision. David Meehan, I should say. Not a good pass out by him. It comes to Francis Murray, but he's under pressure in there from Seamus Carr. He gives it back to Declan Boyle. Declan Boyle fists it out to John Van Gallagher. Gallagher linking between defence and attack. The ball to Barry McGowan, wearing number 6, but playing a centre half forward, but back in his own 45-metre line. Knocks it forward to Paul Callaghan. Paul Callaghan, faced there by Desi Cunningham. Knocks the ball forward, looking for Conall Gallagher. Conall Gallagher with Sean Gavigan right behind him. Conall on his feet, gives it back to Manus Boyle. Manus Boyle on the left foot. Shooting on the left foot, but well, just wide again by Manus Boyle. But Boyle not afraid to shoot there on that occasion. A good 30 metres out, but again it drifted wide. That's Killybegs' 4th wide in the opening 11 minutes of the game, and certainly that's a bit wasteful because they've had very, very good opportunities. It stays 1 point off. Kevin Doherty again with the ball on the edge of the small parallelograph. Leith Columba supporters just behind him there at the River Finn end, as opposed to the canal end here at McCumhaill Park. The kick out's not a great one. Boyle got one hand to it but couldn't take it, but there was a hand on somebody's shoulder. One or two of the Killybegs players not that happy with Mick McGrath's decision, but the referee was within 10 yards of that. Noel Hegarty wants to take the free from about 50 metres out, but he's going to be told to go back to about 45. Well, he's going to take it from about 47, 48 by the time he runs up. No, in fact, he takes it from a standing position and knocks it into the corner. Michael McNeilis switches all over the Naomh Columba forward line. Not a good ball. McNeilis cut out there by McGowan. McGowan gave it inside the Boyle. He gave it to John Ban. Back to Boyle again. Killybegs over elaborating and making it difficult for themselves. Paddy Hegarty robbed Declan Boyle. Declan Boyle fouled him. And now Naomh Columba have another opportunity. And again, Michael McGee, Killybegs, wasteful at both ends of the park, really.
Yeah, well, the short game, obviously, what's happening there, they're playing it so much that they end up with some fella gets it at the goals and there's nobody to pass it to, so it's breaking down at that. And then when that's not happening, Columba, as it were, are nipping in there and getting it. But a nice gesture there. I noticed that John Joe Doherty got a drink in there from the sideline when he was finished with it. He shared it with the immediate opposite number, Barry McGowan. Nice to see that in that championship final, Charlie.
Yes, indeed, Michael. The ball knocked forward. Manus Boyle seemed to be fouled there by John Paul Curran. Boyle wants to take it quickly, but he's not been allowed to do that. Now he's got it in his hands. The full forward way back in his own half at the moment. Knocks it forward now, looking for Conall Gallagher. Conall Gallagher, very dangerous player. Tackled there by Sean Gavigan, but a good sweeping ball across to Paul Callaghan. He got the opening score. That one's close again, but again it just curls to the left-hand side. And Killybegs guilty of a number of wides. 5 wides, Tom Cormack tells me, they've had in the opening 13 minutes of this game, and certainly that's not the sort of return you're going to need if you're going to win a championship final. But having said that, they are the dominant force really around midfield at the moment. They're getting all the possession and they're not taking full advantage of it so far, because with over 13 minutes gone, it stays Killybegs 1 point, Naomh Columba 1 point. Manus Boyle's way out from goals, got hands to it, comes to Barry McGowan. Barry McGowan's got Paul Callaghan, but Barry McGowan's driving down the middle himself. Barry McGowan shoots, and the umpire decides that one's wide as well. Barry McGowan feeds it was certainly over the bar, but the umpire had a long hard look at it and he decided it was wide. Barry McGowan not very happy about that decision, gesturing there to the referee Mick McGrath, but the umpire signalled it wide. The referee concurred and it goes down as another wide, the 6th of the first half, and we've just gone 14 minutes. Kevin Doherty getting plenty of kicking out practice. This one's dropping outside his own 45-metre line. Paddy Gavigan went high but couldn't hold it. The dropping ball comes to Mark Boyle. Mark Boyle's been fouled, but the referee says play on. A swing of the boot there by somebody. It comes in, Jimmy White trying to get there. Jimmy White was fouled, and this is going to be a free to Killybegs, and a much easier opportunity for Manus Boyle to open his account and to restore Killybegs' lead, a lead that they took after 2.5 minutes, that they lost after 5 minutes, and now with 14.5 minutes gone, that they're looking to restore. That foul was by Conall Gavigan in there. This frees in a pretty central position. It's exactly 21 metres out, and Manus Boyle on the right foot would be expected to knock this one over the bar, and that's exactly what he does. So Manus Boyle opens his account with Killybegs' second point of the game. Just below us here we can see Francis Murray urging his team on with number 7 on his back. Michael McGee clapping his hands, encouraging the Naomh Columba men. In the midfield area, Killybegs are getting the most of the play, but Noel Hegarty really hasn't got into this game as a force as yet. Paddy Hegarty, not seen a lot of him. And John Joe Doherty having a busy time marking Barry McGowan. Manus Boyle's way out from goals at the moment, away out nearly at the halfway line as Killybegs leave Conal Gallagher and Jimmy White just forward. Paddy Gavigan goes for it. Barry Cunningham got a hand to it, but the dropping ball comes to John Paul Corn, give it to Paddy Gavigan. Paddy Gavigan hesitated for a moment. Michael McNeilis should get this one very close to the sideline, but he holds on to it. McNeilis plays a long dropping ball in towards the 14-metre line. Paddy Hegarty's in behind the defence. The breaking ball comes out again. It's picked up there by Aidan Burke. Aidan Burke tackled by McGinley. He gives it out to Paul O'Donnell. Paul O'Donnell's out wide now, however, on the 21-metre line, trying to get round Michael Campbell. Does very well, does the corner forward. He's bursting into our goal. He's got support. A high elbow challenge there by Declan Boyle. And the referee, Mick McGrath, right with the play. Paddy Hegarty complaining about that tackle. But the resulting free should be a pretty easy one for, although it's to the right side of goals, not the ideal side for a right-footed kicker. But Noel Hegarty, who of course is the leading goal scorer in the championship for Naomh Columba, he's got their only point to date. And just as they did after Killybegs' initial point, Naomh Columba come back and reply immediately again with their second point of the game. There was a 2-minute gap before they replied the last time, just a 2-minute gap this time, so it's back to 2 points all. So very little between them. Most people felt this was going to be a very keenly contested and close contest. Killybegs' club team, they're really haven't put it together in Ballybofey at the big stage as yet, although they were the county champions last year, even against Red Hughes by their own high standards. They failed to produce it at Ballybofey. Subsequently they went on, of course, to beat the County Down and the County Derry champions in brilliant style, but then to lose in the Ulster Club championship final. Barry Cunningham fielded majestically there on the midfield line. He knocked it forward to Manus Boyle. He couldn't take it initially, but he got it second time. He gives it back, or tried to give it back to Cunningham, but the ball's well intercepted. This is Paddy Gavigan, solid midfielder is Gavigan, knocking the ball forward. Not a good ball forward on this occasion, however, and that one's out over the sideline. And Paddy Hegarty having a strong, stern word there with Paddy Gavigan. He had support inside him, but he didn't avail of it. And a wasteful ball forward. Peter McGinley playing at cornerback, although he's wearing number 5. Take the line ball from the hands. A drop kick, not a good one, but Barry Cunningham took it on the chest and plays it forward. Again, John Paul Curran misjudged it. The hopping ball, who will get it? Well, it's a Naomh Columba man in the form of Sean Gavigan. In fact, it's Conal Gavigan. The ball's knocked forward now to Paddy Gavigan. Paddy Gavigan inside his own half, steps round the challenge of Barry Cunningham very well. Paddy Gavigan looking for support, plays the ball forward. Paddy Hegarty trying to get there with the breaking ball. Declan Boyle does very well. Now Paddy Hegarty, well, in fact, he leaves it to Aidan Burke. Aidan Burke gives it back to Paddy Hegarty. Paddy Hegarty trying to get round Declan Boyle. That's not an easy job. He's been hailed by Declan Boyle, and it's going to be another free in. Paddy Hegarty, a very difficult man to mark, very determined in possession. And Michael McGee, Naomh Columba, after a slightly slack start, beginning to really get to grips with this game.
Yeah, they're beginning to get to grips with it. They were completely out of it there at centre field in the initial stages, but they seem to be settling down and getting to grips with it there. Paddy Gavigan, you'll note now in the last few attacks that they had there, they sprung from him at centre field there. But then their half back line seems to be getting in on the tightening up a lot better than they were early on.
Oh, a great chance on there. The ball, the free was 2 Killybegs men went for it. Neither of them get it. The ball broke down to Seamus Carr. The goal seemed to be gaping from here, but all of a sudden there was 3 or 4 Killybegs men closing them down, and a let off there for the reigning county champions. The free's taken. John Van Gallagher gives the ball forward to Paul Carberry. Paul Carberry knocks it forward as well, taken by Conal Gallagher. He couldn't hold on to it, however. Barry McGowan shoulders John Joe Doherty out of the way. Fists the ball in now to John Van. Killybegs have extra men if they use them. This is Conal Gallagher from his brother John Van. Conal Gallagher shoots. And Conal Gallagher shoots, well, to be fair to him, about 15 yards wide perhaps, but a great opportunity. 7 wides now, in fact, in the first half for Killybegs. And, well, a lot of chances wasted, a lot of good point scoring opportunities wasted. And there was another point, in fact, of that. Conal Gallagher receiving the pass from his brother John, but he just couldn't take advantage of it from only about 23 or 24 metres out. Kevin Doherty with the ball placed on the edge of the small parallelogram. 19 and a quarter minutes gone in the championship final here in Donegal. Barry Cunningham knocked it down, but it's picked up there by Gavigan. Gavigan knocks it forward to John Joe Doherty. John Joe Doherty's got space in front of him. He gives it to Noel Hegarty. Noel Hegarty's got his brother Paddy running. He ships the challenge from Carberry. Noel Hegarty still going. Declan Boyle got in front of him, but a brilliant score from Noel Hegarty. What a fantastic footballer this man is. Cornerback in Donegal's All-Ireland winning team, Noel Hegarty. Player manager of Naomh Columba, their top goal scorer in the championship campaign so far, and he scored all their points so far in the championship here today. Almost 20 minutes gone in the first half, 2 of them from frees, that one from play. Naomh Columba, for the first time in the 1992 Donegal Senior Championship final, take the lead. The champions of 1990, Naomh Columba, they beat Killybegs on that occasion Killybegs came back last year to gain revenge in the championship semi-final before beating Red Hughes here in the final. So who will have the championship for twice in 3 years? Will it be Naomh Columba? Will it be Killybegs? The Glen men lead by 3 points to 2 at the moment. Jimmy White trying to get there. The breaking ball will come to Mark Boyle. Mark Boyle, fleet of foot. Mark Boyle shoots, but into the hands of Kevin Doherty. Another opportunity missed. John Paul Kern plays a long ball out looking for Michael McGee, but not a good clearance. Straight into touch. And it's going to be a sideline ball to Killybegs, playing in the red and white, attacking the River Findane. Francis Murray knocked it into Mark Boyle, well round Desi Cunningham, or Ewan McIntyre I should say. This is Mark Boyle now. Noel Hegarty trying to close him down, but the wee Killybegs man does very well, but he's on the ground now. He needs support. He knocks the ball out, but it's again Naomh Columba who pick it up. John Joe Doherty, centre half back to Paddy Gavigan, their midfielder. A long ball forward from him. Looking for O'Donnell. It should come to Carr. No, it doesn't. In fact, it's Michael Cunningham who has it. It's not, it's Aidan Burke, but Aidan Burke, a good challenge there. Carberry knocks it forward to Barry Cunningham. Back to Carberry again. Full back, knocks the ball forward to Barry McGowan. He's got Barry Cunningham to his left. This is better play by Killybegs, but we've seen this from him so far and it hasn't ended up in a score. Cunningham to Callahan, back to McGowan, but they're actually losing ground. He's on the 45-metre line. Plenty of time, but again trying to sweep across, gives it across to player manager Jimmy White. Jimmy White plays a low ball in there to Paul Callahan. Paul Callahan shoots, half blocked. Ewan McIntyre seemed to push Barry McGowan. The referee says play on. Again Killybegs lose possession, nothing coming from a good build-up. John Joe Doherty tackled by Paul Callahan, but John Joe sweeps away around him. Going to be tackled by John Van Goller. He sweeps him out of the way as well. Great play by John Joe Doherty. He's made 50 yards. He carried the ball too far, and I thought just he was a little bit lucky that the referee didn't blow him sooner, but Mick McGrath finally decided that ball was carried too far and it's going to be a free to Naomh Columba. John Joe Doherty isn't too happy with the decision. He's having a long hard word with Mick McGrath, but he had ample opportunity to get that ball away, but he decided he was going to beat the third tackle, and John Joe with the hands on the head, certainly that took a little bit out of him. John Joe Doherty, the free against him. Jimmy White took it to John Van Gallagher. John Joe still trying to get his breath. Comes to Barry McGowan. Killybegs taking too much out of the ball. The ball's knocked in dangerously now. The ball's come to Manus Boyle. There's a chance, a brilliant save from Kevin Doherty. That's a fantastic save from the Naomh Columba goalkeeper. The breaking ball to Manus Boyle, and the goal getter, of course, Supreme, didn't hesitate, swung onto the left foot, drilled the ball low to the goalkeeper's right, but Kevin Doherty pounced and dived low and pushed that ball out for a 45-metre free. A brilliant save, and that certainly could be a turning point in this game, because Killybegs of course came back against Red Hughes with 2 late goals after struggling for long periods. They've been struggling here to get the scores, but that was a brilliant save from Kevin Doherty. Manus Boyle comes to take the free, and just as he did on the last occasion, that one drifts to the right of goal and drifts wide. So Kevin Doherty's excellent save, Michael McGee, that could be a turning point.
It could. 2 things there, Charlie. Then you had that Noel Hegarty run there in the 19th minute. He did about 30 metres on the run there. He shipped 3 challenges, steadied himself and put it over the bar. And then you had that great save there from Kevin Doherty. I mean, Boyle wouldn't have been more than 6 metres off the goal line when he swung on that shot. And how Doherty got that, I don't know. But he got there anyway, unless it's the answer to Novina's about the southwest of the county.
It certainly was a brilliant save by Kevin Doherty. He's coming up to take the kick out. It's dropping just outside his own 45-metre line. The breaking ball, John Joe Doherty waited for it but didn't get it. But the ball comes to Ewan McIntyre. He gives the ball out to Sean Gavigan. He gives it now to John Joe Doherty. Good play from Naomh Columba. A good ball forward. The ball comes now to Paddy Hegarty. Paddy Hegarty away as Declan Boyle slipped. Paddy Hegarty home and in goal. Naomh Columba have a spare man inside of Seamus Carr. Paddy Hegarty sees him. He's going himself. Strong challenge there by Dennis Carberry. Stood on his feet and did very well. Hegarty gives it back to Seamus Carr. Seamus Carr shoots. And Seamus Carr shoots wide, and that was an excellent tackle there by Dennis Carberry. He stood up to Paddy Hegarty. Hegarty had Seamus Carr inside him. Perhaps he should have delivered a little bit quicker, but the big strong full-back of Killybegs held his ground, and Paddy Hegarty was knocked to the ground fairly, I have to say. A strong, very good challenge. The goal chance was gone, and then Carr missed the point chance. David Meehan I should say, knocks the ball out. The breaking ball comes to John Van Gallagher. John Van's shot is half blocked. John Joe Doherty tried to get hands to it, but it comes now to Barry McGowan. Barry McGowan shipped the tackle from Noel Hegarty, bursting forward, gives the ball forward to Barry Cunningham. Barry Cunningham knocks it in, looking for Manus Boyle. Boyle has it. Boyle was pushed by John Paul Kern, and it's going to be a free, dead straight in front of goals, and an opportunity for Manus Boyle to get his second point of the game and to get the equalising score. This one is about 30 metres out. As I said, it couldn't be in a more central position. Manus Boyle, that goal opportunity, that goal shot denied him a couple of minutes ago, comes forward, chips it, and he chips it over the bar. So Manus Boyle's got 2 points for Killybegs. Paul Callahan got the other one. Noel Hegarty scored all 3 points for the Naomh Columba men. 25 minutes gone in the championship final. Being brought to you in association with Heaney's You Drop In Navanny Street in Ballybofey here on Highland Radio Sport. If you've just joined us, good afternoon. We can tell you that in the reserve championship final earlier today, Patch Crossing's St Eunan's reserve team beat the champions Kilcar by 110 to 8 points to take the championship in a very exciting and very keenly and well contested reserve championship final. The scores are level here, 3 points each. Brilliant fielding by Barry Cunningham. Francis Murray was tackled late. Barry McGowan wanted to take the quick one, but he wasn't. He was prevented doing that. Noel Hegarty played the ball long. Mick McGrath now says that go 14 yards. Noel Hegarty's having a strong word with him. A quiet man off the field, Noel Hegarty, but well, a pretty noisy one on it. Francis Murray will take the free from 14 metres forward. No, in fact, he gave it to John Van Gallagher. Movement forward from his brother Connell, but John Van setting the ball up. This one's about 52 metres out, dead straight in front of goals. It would be a great effort to knock this one's directly over the bar. Killybegs have a lot of men in around the edge of the small program. It's not a good free, but it'll come to Barry McGowan, 21 metres out. He turns on the right foot. The shot's half blocked. It's well fielded in there by John Paul Curran under his own crossbar. Looking for Michael McNeilis. McNeilis got hands to it, but he couldn't take it, but he should recover. John Van Gallagher trying to get there as well. The ball's knocked forward, but Paul Carberry knocks the ball in. 2 Killybegs men getting one another's way. It was Michael Campbell and Mark Boyle. Now John Joe Doherty's got room in front of him to go forward. He knocked the ball forward looking for Michael Cunningham. Michael Cunningham couldn't take it first time. Peter McGinley took advantage of that. Now a good ball in to Mark Boyle. Mark Boyle gets the ball up 40 metres out in a central position. Knocks the ball across looking for player manager Jimmy White. Jimmy White thought about the shot. Comes back onto the left foot. Back onto the right foot now Jimmy White. Jimmy White, good looking shot by Jimmy White. This could be an excellent score by Jimmy White. In fact, it's a brilliant score by Jimmy White. Very, very good play there by the player manager. Turning on to the right foot, then to the left foot, toe to hand onto the right foot again, and from about 35 metres out he swung that one. It just dropped inside the crossbar, and a very good score to put Killybegs back in the lead. So they've come back with 2 points in a row, one from Manus Boyle from a free, the other from Jimmy White from play. 4 points to 3, 27 minutes gone in the first half, just under 3 minutes to go. Kevin Doherty comes forward again. The ball's dropping inside his own half. Paddy Gavin got hands to it. The breaking ball comes to Desi Cunningham. Desi Cunningham's fouled. Desi Cunningham, however, was fouled a little bit further back. The referee Mick McGrath allows him to go. It wasn't a great ball to Noel Hegarty. He had to work very hard to get there. He touched the ball on the ground now, says the referee. And Noel Hegarty's not very pleased about that. And now the referee will take it forward again. So dissension from Noel Hegarty. He's having a word himself from Mick McGrath, having a running conversation there, although Hegarty's doing most of the talking. The ball goes in, boot out in front of it, comes to John Paul. John Paul knocks it out to Paul O'Donnell. Paul O'Donnell in possession in his own 45 metre line, plays the ball forward, but it's very close to the sideline, and full forward Carberry ahead of Hayden Burke, and he lets it out. The ball goes to Declan Boyle. Declan Boyle gives it in to Paul Carberry. Paul Carberry gives it to John Van Gallagher. He's got support forward from him. This is Francis Murray. Francis Murray's had a good solid first half as a replacement for John Cunningham. Knocking the ball forward wasn't a good ball. It's intercepted in there by McIntyre. McIntyre gave it out to Noel Hegarty. Mark Boyle trying to close him down, but Hegarty's so strong in possession, and now the referee's going to have a word with somebody. In fact, he's going to book Mark Boyle. 1 or 2 little personal fouls getting into it, so perhaps Mick McGrath feels he needs to get a grip on that. Hegarty was going away from Boyle, and the former county minor decided that he was going to take his jersey from behind. And as we move into the latter stages of the first half, Noel Hegarty has a free just inside his own half. 4 points to 3. Killybegs lead. A low scoring, fiercely contested first half. Into the corner. The breaking ball. Peter McGinley's there. Peter McGinley, a couple of heavy challenges. McGinley, strong young lad, gets to his feet, gives it out to Barry McGowan. Barry McGowan now making ground. Declan Boyle telling somebody to cover him. Declan Boyle's going forward. Good ball into Barry McGowan. Boyle's able to take it full on the run. Naomh Columba men trying to close him down. Boyle going forward. Boyle shoots. And he shoots wide, just drifting to the left. And a number of scores, possible scores for Killybegs have drifted wide. We've got 8 wides in this first half so far. 9 in fact, 9 wides. And really that was pretty wasteful for the amount of possession they've had. Just less than half a minute to go. In fact, Naomh Columba have just had 1 wide in the first half, so economy of effort and shooting from them. 1 or 2 positional changes taking place. There's a change there. Sean Gavigan's coming out to mark Conal Gallagher by the looks of things. McIntyre's going into corner back, but will stay with the play. Barry McGowan being tackled there, fisted the ball forward. It wasn't a great pass, but Francis Murray made something of it. John Van Gallagher going in there with John Joe Doherty. The ball still on the ground. The loose ball now comes to Michael Campbell. Michael Campbell's got Declan Boyle to his right. Boyle inside the Naomh Columba half going forward. Manus Boyle called for John Paul Curran, intercepted it brilliantly. Great play there as Manus Boyle winning the full back now. Coming forward, fist the ball forward, and he shipped a heavy challenge there by Paul Carberry, and he's going to get his name taken for that late challenge on the full back. So a full back from one end meeting a corner back from the other, just about 50 metres out, and the free is going to be to Naomh Columba. Noel Hegarty will probably take it. Mick McGrath standing in no ceremony here. 45 metres out, in fact. Paddy Hegarty took it, knocked it across to Seamus Carr. Seamus Carr with Michael Campbell with him. Seamus Carr being forced out wide. Seamus Carr knocks the ball out there, receives the pass back again. Carr on the left foot swings it. That looks as if it could be a great score by Seamus Carr. In fact, it's a brilliant score by Seamus Carr on his weaker left foot from about 25 metres out, as we've gone a minute and a half, and just over a minute in fact, into injury time. And that's the equalising score, so perhaps by half-time we're going to go in level, and in fact Mick McGrath signals that is the half-time whistle. So at half-time, Michael McGee 4 points all. I suppose a fair reflection on the first half in terms of taking scores, but Killybegs with 9 ways under their belt will be disappointed that they're not ahead.
Well, I would say Killybegs would be very disappointed that they're not ahead. That over-elaboration, which is a trait of their football, let them down there badly, and they would have been particularly surprised at a player of the calibre of Barry McGowan there, when he had oceans of space and plenty of time to shoot, insisting on moving in there. But that's one of the problems with this Killybegs team. You remember last year in Omagh against a very mediocre Castle Blaney, the same thing happened to them there. They seem to, on the big occasion, get them. On the other hand, we said at the beginning, this Naomh Columba, they'll keep plugging away there, and they'll keep at it there. And a team like that are very, very hard to wear down. And I would say Naomh Columba very happy there to be on level terms. Killybegs slightly disappointed, I would think.
I think most people agree with that assessment. We'll take a break. PO will be back after that, of course, in miles. Then we'll update you on the situation from other sporting events around the northwest and further afield. Darren Clark, as we said in the golf, was within one shot of Bernard Langer. Nick Faldo had almost the Wentworth World Match Play won for a second time. That and other news coming your way from Miles Gallagher very shortly. PO's back right after this break. You can rejoin us in about 8 minutes' time for the second half action here from McCumhaill Park.
Anyone going to Donegal on this Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. or early Wednesday morning.
Well, we're about to get underway for the second half. Mick McGrath has had the teams out pretty quick. He's looked at his watch. 4 points all. It's all to play for. McGrath throws in the ball and the game is on. This time it's Gavigan knocking down to Hegarty. At the start of the first half it was the other way about. Noel Hegarty gives it to his brother Paddy, trying to step inside. Paddy Hegarty carrying the ball a little bit too far. The Hegarty brothers now having a strong word with Mick McGrath, and certainly this is a bit foolish by the players, because the referee, once he makes his decision, isn't going to change his mind, and all it's doing is losing ground. Paddy Hegarty perhaps a little bit slightly unlucky there. He may have taken one step too much, but on plenty of occasions, well, there's Noel Hegarty still having a strong word. And well, you've rejoined us here on Highland Radio, and just started into the second half, about 30 seconds. 36 seconds, in fact. It's a free to Killybegs, over carrying the ball there by Paddy Hegarty. And Declan Boyle takes the free, a long one forward. 9 wides in the first half for Killybegs. Manus Boyle knocked it down, but John Joe Doherty got possession, tackled by Mark Boyle. And well, a little bit fortunate there, John Joe, because he saw the tackle coming and he decided to go to ground, but knocks the ball out now, looking for Paddy Hegarty again. Declan Boyle's right with him. Boyle got hands to it, but it's going to be a line ball to Naomh Columba. Paddy Hegarty going to take it. Seamus Carr appealing. Paddy Hegarty plays a long one into the middle, looking for Michael McNeilis. Good fielding in there by Carberry, the full back. He knocks it out to McGinley. McGinley knocks it forward to Declan Boyle, facing his own goal, turns, faces his own goal again, flicks the ball inside to Barry Cunningham. Barry Cunningham in possession, flicks the ball forward, but again over elaboration. Paddy Gavigan gets a hand in there. Barry Cunningham knocked it forward. Declan Boyle dived in bravely to get that forward to his brother Mark. He's fouled, tripped by Seamus Carr, knocks the ball across now to Dennis Carberry. In fact, it's Paul Carberry coming forward, fisted pass in, looking for Conall Gallagher. Good challenge there from behind by Gavigan. This is Noel Hegarty, forcing his way out as he loves to do. Gives the ball into McIntyre. McIntyre gives it across to Desi Cunningham. Now it's Naomh Columba who are over-elaborating. Bad ball forward. Declan Boyle cuts it out. Now there's a chance for Killybegs. Paul Callan, who got the goal against Red Hughes, of course, the first one. Oceans of space, 21 metre line. Flicks it over the bar. And again, that came as a result of Naomh Columba giving the ball away after winning good possession. And Paul Callahan, who opened the scoring in the first half for Killybegs, does likewise in the second after just over 2 minutes. Kevin Doherty, anxious to get on with it, placed the ball on the edge of the 21 metre line, just outside it in fact. Little between them, a good crowd here at McCumhaill Park, the seated area well full here at the far side. Naomh Columba attacking the River Finn end in the second half. Barry McGowan out in the midfield area. Noel Hegarty got his boot in and gone through Barry McGowan. Now he's wondering how the midfielder is. He's still on the ground, but it comes to Manus Boyle. Manus Boyle into Barry Cunningham. The inter-county men's combining well. This is Manus Boyle, and well, John Joe Doherty's going to get his name in the book. I have to say I just actually missed that, but obviously Mick McGrath saw something that he wasn't too happy about. Perhaps a high swing of the hand there by John Joe Doherty, and anyway, his name goes in the book. It's going to be a free into Killybegs, an opportunity for them to increase their lead to 2 points. Manus Boyle's dead straight in front of goals, and he's about 40 metres out, perhaps just slightly less than that, but around the 40 metre area. Just looking at Barry McGowan, he's back on his feet again. Noel Hegarty's boots seem to just make contact with the upper side of his thigh, but this is free. Manus Boyle dead straight in front of goals. He chips it, but he chips it wide, so an opportunity spurned there by Manus Boyle, the man who was faultless at Croke Park a few weeks ago from place balls and from play, and he scored 4 free so far, but certainly a couple of missed chances at the start of the second half, just as there was in the first half by Killybegs, and it stays. Killybegs 5 points, Naomh Columba 4 points. Almost 4 minutes gone. Noel Hegarty grabs the possession of his own 45 metre line, the outside of his left foot forward. Declan Boyle, so speedy and such a fantastic footballer, Declan Boyle. Surely a senior inter-county star of the future. This is Manus Boyle. He flicks it into the fast raiding Barry Cunningham. Flicks it on to Jimmy White. Jimmy White shoots slow in. John Paul Kearns there. Jimmy White, a bad clearance, however, comes to John Van Gallagher. John Van Gallagher's in the central position. His shot's half blocked. John Joe Doherty inside his own 21 metre line. He's got possession. He plays it long forward, but there's 2 Killybegs men here on the halfway line. It's Declan Boyle. Killybegs pushing men forward. They have a lot of people up in the area, but John Paul Curran will come and get this one. John Paul Curran flicks it to the side under pressure from Barry Cunningham. John Joe Doherty now has it in his own 14 metre line. Jimmy White trying to block him in. He fouls him. Bit of a high tackle, not a dangerous one, it has to be said. John Joe Doherty now. Killybegs certainly looking a lot sharper at the start of the second half than they did earlier in the first half. This is Barry McGowan. He's surrounded by Naomh Columba men, fouled by one of them, and it's going to be a free in. Noel Hegarty again not too happy about the decision. The referee Mick McGrath had made up his mind, And this free is going to be to Killybegs. It's way out on the right hand side. Manus Boyle not going over to take this one. Barry Cunningham in fact going to take it with the left foot. It's about 12 paces in from the seated area here at McCumhaill Park. The quick free's taken. Cunningham into Manus Boyle. Back to Cunningham again on the left foot. An opportunity for him. He swings the left foot and he swings it over the bar. And that was good intelligent interplay between the two inter-county men. And with 5 minutes and 20 seconds gone in the second half, Killybegs have increased their lead to 2. It's now Killybegs 6 points, Naomh Columba 4 points. But Michael McGee, I sense a greater urgency and commitment about Killybegs in the second half.
Well, it would look as if they're that bit sharper, but Glen seem to have taken over the role that Killybegs took over at the beginning of the first half with the over-elaboration of the short pass, because time and time again there they could have had that ball away. And with the sharpness of this Killybegs forward line, there's no doubt about it that they'll be severely punished, and especially if they foul in there with Manus Boyle and there to take the close-in free. So I think Glen would be well advised when they get the ball to clear as soon as possible with as little as possible of the short pass.
A change on the Naomh Columba side just before this kick-out's taken. It's Michael Hegarty, a brother of Noel and Paddy's, coming into the fray. He's coming at full forward, and Aidan Burke has gone off. Seamus Carr is out to the position that he named. Michael McNeilis, in fact, is going off, we're told, and Aidan Burke's gone out to left half forward. Yes, indeed, it's McNeilis who's gone off, and Burke has moved out to the half forward line. But the ball comes to Paddy Hegarty, knocked it forward looking for Michael Hegarty. He was fouled there by Carberry, and so his first action in the match could result in a score for his brother Noel, because very accurate from frees is Noel Hegarty. This free is 26 metres out. It's slightly to the left of goal as we look at it. Indeed, as Noel Hegarty looks at it, so pretty good side for a right-footed kicker. He's kicking towards the end where a lot of the Naomh Columba support is en masse. Hegarty comes forward, chips it brilliantly over the bar. Very, very good kicker, a very accurate kicker of a dead ball, Noel Hegarty. Mr. Versatility, really, and a lot of people tipping, of course, that Noel Hegarty will be an all-star this year. Interesting to see in a survey in the Sunday Independent, to ask readers to name their team of the year. 9 Donegal players made that team, and they included Noel Hegarty and Manus Boyle, who are here today, of course. Also on that team, Enda Gormley of Derry and Gary Coleman of Derry. Coleman named at right half back, Gormley named at left half forward. 9 Donegal men, a couple of Dublin players there as well. Seamus Clancy of Clare. But the play here in the county final. Michael Cunningham knocks it forward. Michael Hegarty does well out in front of Carberry there. Hegarty, number 17 on his back, looking for support. Gives it back to Noel Hegarty. Noel Hegarty sweeps it across, but it's intercepted by Paul Callaghan. Good play there by the county minor. He knocks it forward to Barry Cunningham. A strong challenge there by Ewan McIntyre. Barry Cunningham's a strong lad. Doesn't affect him too much. Sweeps it out to Barry McGowan. This is a good play. Barry McGowan coming forward at pace. Barry McGowan on the right foot shoots. Plenty of height, but there's still danger. Kevin Doherty coming out. A lot of hands there. Somebody's got it. It's John Joe Doherty who's in there on the ground. Flicks the ball out. Does very well, John Joe Doherty. Knocked the ball out there to Desi Cunningham. Desi Cunningham knocked it out to Gavigan. Gavigan plays it away across here. It will be picked up by Seamus Carr. Naomh Columba under pressure do well. Seamus Carr about to be tackled by Michael Campbell. Oh, bad play by Seamus Carr. He thought he had a man inside him, but in fact that man was Mark Boyle. Back to Michael Campbell. Campbell gives it on to Declan Boyle. Declan Boyle, in fact it was Conal Gallagher, lost possession. There was a collision there between two players. It looked accidental to me. Seamus Carr forces his way out. Paddy Hegarty was the Naomh Columba man involved. He's back on his feet again. Aidan Burke trying to get there. He fouled Peter McGinley, and it's going to be a free to Killybegs just inside their own half. Peter McGinley wants to take it quick. He takes it quickly into Declan Boyle. A bit of urgency about the game now. Declan Boyle gives it forward to Barry Cunningham. Barry Cunningham's got Barry McGowan's support, but he's on his left foot. He shoots. And well, the finishing by Barry Cunningham not too attractive on that occasion. Noel Hegarty given out to his players. Seamus Carr's feeling the wrath of the player manager's tongue at the moment. It's 6 points to 5. There's nothing between them. There's just over 9 minutes gone in the second half. It was 4 points all at half time. Paul Callaghan had the opening point of the play in the first half. He also had the opening point from play in the second. Manus Boyle then pointed a free. Michael Hegarty was fouled and Noel Hegarty knocked it over the bar for a free. And then, of course, we had a good opportunity at this end for Barry Cunningham there, but he couldn't take it. This is Jimmy White in possession from John Ban Gallagher's pass. Back to John Ban again. Good challenge by John Joe Doherty, but it comes to Jimmy White, but he's under pressure from Aidan Burke. Jimmy White gives it back there to Francis Murray. Francis Murray into John Ban. John Ban into Baron. A couple of high challenges there by both Noel Hegarty and by John Joe Doherty. Noel Hegarty remonstrating with the referee, but really not much to remonstrate about there. That was a very dangerous tackle on his inter-county club mate. And Was Noel Hegarty booked in the first half? I wonder. He wasn't. And there's going to be another booking here. Seamus Carr is going to get his name in the book as well. And this is very foolish by experienced players. Manus Boyle got himself booked in the first half for saying too much to the referee. Seamus Carr is going into the book. I don't know what Seamus Carr hopes to achieve by that. It means that if he commits a bookable offence now, his team could be down to 14 men, and if he get booked for that sort of situation with a free already awarded, and no question that it was the right decision. Very foolish. Manus Boyle with the free, chips it, looks pretty good, and a well taken free there by Manus Boyle to restore a 2-point lead for Killybegs. They now lead by 7 points to 5. We've gone just over 10.5 minutes in the second half, just under 20 minutes to go in this championship final. Michael Oliver McIntyre, coach and trainer to this Naomh Columba side, a man who's served them well for so long, away on the far side there, encouraging his team. This is Kevin Doherty with his kick out in front of him. Kevin Doherty chips it forward. John Joe Doherty trying to get onto it, got hands to it, held it at the second attempt. John Joe Doherty, a bit of inspiration needed from him, and he's certainly looking to give it. He was rounded the forward. The referee, well, Mick McGrath, fairness to him, wasn't to know that John Joe was going to get there, but the ball's knocked forward. Peter McGinley is beaten there, and the ball will come out wide. It's picked up by Michael Cunningham. Michael Cunningham's been tackled. He's got Seamus Carr outside him. Seamus Carr swings that ball, but that ball's going to go wide. Seamus Carr trying to play it in early. Paddy Hegarty was in there. But Naomh Columba have come back well on a couple of occasions. They've been behind in this game. But again, now they're 2 points behind. 7 points to 5. And they certainly have it all to do. 11 3/4 minutes gone in the second half. Certainly a more determined Killybegs in this second half. Perhaps Jimmy White said to them at half time, you've got to prove yourself here, lads. You've got to get your act together, because certainly they weren't playing well in the first half, missing a lot of chances, plenty of possession, but really not putting their game together. David Meehan's kick out, dropping. It's fisted down by Paddy Hegarty. It'll come to Noel Hegarty, faced by a number of Killybegs men, but he forces his way through. So strong, Noel Hegarty. Again going forward. The referee says he's fouled. Quick ball by him and to Paddy Gavigan. There's a chance here, but the whistle's gone, I think. The whistle has gone. No, the referee will call it back. A quick free taken by Noel Hegarty. The free wasn't taken by them from the right place, but well, how many of these frees Naomh Columba will say are taken from the right position? It was very quickly taken, but Mick McGrath was blowing his whistle. He was blowing his whistle before Noel Hegarty actually took that free into Paddy Hegarty. And in fairness to the referee, he's in an 0-1 situation there, but he certainly had called Noel Hegarty back before Noel Hegarty released the ball into Paddy Gavigan. It was a brilliant pass in, I have to say, and Gavigan, well, he dispatched it to the net, but the whistle had gone. Now the free back with Noel Hegarty. He chips it, but this one looks as if it's going wide, and it drifts to the right and it drifts wide. So a controversial moment there perhaps, but I have to say, in defence of the referee, the free wasn't taken from the right position, and his whistle had gone before Noel Hegarty was actually in the process of dispatching it into Paddy Gavigan. But I'm sure that'll be talked about down in the southwest of Donegal for a few nights if it has an effect on the result of this game. David Meehan's kicked out again. Barry Cunningham feeling it brilliantly. He's won whatever clean possession's been won in midfield today. He's surrounded by Naomh Columba men, and he's pulled up for over carrying the ball. Now he disputes it, and now the ball's carried forward by Mick McGrath. Paddy Hegarty wants to take it quickly, but Noel Hegarty tells him to drop the ball. So referee McGrath certainly, well, displeasing both teams with his decisions, but who would be a referee, I suppose? On the 45-metre line is Noel Hegarty. Naomh Columba have come back in the last couple of minutes when they went 2 points behind. They tend to lift their game, and that's what they've done. Noel Hegarty this time away to the right again. Plenty of height and plenty of distance, but the accuracy factor was missing there. And now we see the two Hegartys and John Joe Doherty within 3 or 4 yards of one another there in the middle of the park, having a mini discussion. It's broken up again, but certainly those three need to lift their game if Naomh Columba are to get back into it. Killybegs seem to have rested on their laurels somewhat in the last few minutes since they went 2 points up. They looked more determined at the start of the second half, but again they've just dropped their performance level for a moment or two. Noel Hegarty went up high. John Joe Doherty slipped, but will he recover? A good challenge by John Joe Doherty on Barry Cunningham, and had to be. John Paul Curran did very well under extreme pressure there from John Van Gallagher. And the referee now is going to, there's another booking, and it's going to be Jimmy White's going in the book. John Joe Doherty not very happy about Jimmy White's challenge, and the Killybegs player manager is going to go in the book. And temper's becoming a little bit frayed here on 1 or 2 occasions. There's a substitute warming up away on the far side for Killybegs, his tracksuit player. It looks, well, it's all the shape of Conor White. But O'Connor picked up a serious injury earlier in the campaign, but that certainly looked like him warming up. The free's not a good one. It's picked out by Paul Callahan. Killybegs have an opportunity to break away. Paul Callahan going through. Well, he's lucky to get away with that, but he shoots. And does he take the score? No, in fact, Hugh McGarvey, the umpire, steps forward and signals wide. There was an opportunity there for Killybegs again, but again wide, and we're into the last quarter of the game. 15 minutes and 20 seconds gone in the second half of this Donegal Senior Championship final here at McCumhaill Park in Ballybofey. A very good crowd in to watch Killybegs, the reigning champions, take on Naomh Columba, the champions from 1990. There's 2 points between them. Killybegs are in the ascendancy, 7 points to 5. Another substitute coming on the Naomh Columba side. It's number 16, Paul Hegarty. So another of the Hegartys coming on, and it's Paul O'Donnell who's going off, and Aidan Burke, who was switched out to the half forward line earlier, has been switched back into the full forward line now. Kevin Doherty, the goalkeeper, takes the kick out. The ball comes as far as Barry Cunningham. He knocks it back to Francis Murray. Francis Murray knocking the ball forward to Jimmy White. Jimmy White knocks the ball back to Barry Cunningham. Barry Cunningham knocks it to Barry McGowan. Barry McGowan looking for support. Carrying the ball forward on the 45-metre line, being faced by Noel Hegarty. Seamus Carr is also there. Gives it back to Jimmy White. Jimmy White, a good sweeping ball out here to Declan Boy. Declan Boy, 22 metres out, swings. The ball will drop in. Will it drop over the bar? That's a fine score by young Declan Boy. Turning on to the right foot and swinging it over the bar with his right foot. With a minimum of effort really there, the young man increases the lead to 3 points, and I think that's the highest lead that anyone, so the biggest lead. A bad kick out by Kevin Doherty. It comes to Paul Callahan. Killybegs, Manus Boyle's out in the half forward line, robbed there by John Paul Curran as he tried to find John Van Gallagher. John Paul Curran's made 50 yards. He's coming forward. He fits the ball into Seamus Carr. Barry Cunningham about to challenge him. Paddy Hegarty's forward of him. He sweeps it out, however, to Hegarty. Hegarty knocks it forward. There's a foul in there on Michael Cunningham by Peter McGinley. It's going to be a free in. And Paul Hegarty on. Michael Hegarty's there as well. Paddy Hegarty, Noel Hegarty. So the Hegartys are well represented in the Naomh Columba side at the moment. This free is 35 metres out. Just slightly right, left of centre. Noel Hegarty coming forward. Not a good free, but it comes into the hands of Michael Cunningham, but he loses possession. But Aidan Burke should pick this one up. Burke's been forced away from goal, however. He gives it back to Paul Hegarty. Paul Hegarty shoots on the right foot. It's well fielded in there by Carberry, the fullback. Dennis Carberry gives the ball out to Michael Campbell. Michael Campbell about to be tackled by Noel Hegarty. Strong challenge by Noel Hegarty, a foul. And Michael Campbell wants to take it quickly, sweeps it forward. A push in the back there by Ewan McIntyre and Mark Boyle. There was no question about that. The referee was dead in line with it. It's just inside the 45-metre line, and young Peter McGinley will perhaps take this one from the ground. Well, taking his time over it. He's taking it just up to the 45-metre line, and Peter McGinley to take this. Anxious faces on the Naomh Columba bench away over on the far side. They need an inspiration from the like of Noel or Paddy Hegarty or John Joe Doherty. Manus Boyle's out of centre half forward at the moment, feeds that ball well onto the right foot. Manus Boyle swings the right foot, and that's a great score from Manus Boyle, finding the range now within the last few minutes. Our Killybegs, Declan Boyle taking a fine score from play from the left hand side of the park. Manus Boyle, who's out now in the half forward line, swinging over a fine point with the right foot to make it 9 points to 5, and with almost 18 and a half minutes gone in the second half, it's a 4-point lead for Killybegs, and they're beginning to look good, but still plenty of time for Naomh Columba to go back. Barry Cunningham again fields it, gives it to Barry McGowan, forward now to Paul Callahan. Good movement here by Killybegs. Barry Cunningham's inside again. It wasn't a good pass. Seamus Carr takes it. Seamus Carr, plenty of help from Hegarty's. Noel and Paddy right beside him. It's Noel in possession now, but Naomh Columba need him in a forward position. He's fouled there. He wants to take it quickly, swings the ball across, looking for Paul Hegarty. A very good ball. Paul Hegarty going forward. Francis Murray trying to close him down. Paul Hegarty still in possession. He was fouled by Declan Boyle, and it's going to be a free in. And Paddy Gavigan wants to take it quickly, but Noel Hegarty perhaps will come and chip this one over the bar. Although Noel, with his hands on his head, beginning to feel perhaps a long All-Ireland campaign and a couple of hectic weeks celebration, and of course a semi-final a couple of weeks ago. It's been a hard summer for Noel Hegarty, but he certainly put in a lot of effort. Walks forward. 19 minutes and a quarter gone in the second half. It's 9 points to 5 in favour of Killybegs. Naomh Columba have only managed 1 point in this second half. That came from a Noel Hegarty free, an opportunity for him to double that, and in fact he does, to make it 9 points to 6. 2 frees from Noel Hegarty. With 19 and a half minutes gone, Naomh Columba haven't scored from play in the second half. Killybegs have added 5 points to their first half total. It's now 9 points to 6. A goal between them. The kick of a ball, some would say, but Killybegs really are a more determined side in the second half. Naomh Columba had a good period there after they fell 2 points behind, but they haven't been getting the scores. and Barry McGowan around the midfield area. Manus Boyle out of centre half forward. John Paul Curran coming out and out to midfield area. Noel Hegarty seems to have gone to centre half back. John Joe Doherty's in at full back. Paddy Hegarty and Barry Cunningham there. Ewan McIntyre seems to push there, but Manus Boyle will get onto it. Manus Boyle in possession. Manus Boyle going through, seemed to carry the ball very far, but the referee says play on. Mark Boyle swings it, and it just swings it to the right and swings it wide, and it stays 9 points to 6. Just over 20 minutes to go, less than 10 to go. 13 wides in total for Killybegs in this game. Noel Hegarty wanted a quick one taken. He's got it. He's inside his own 21 metre line. He's fouled. He wants to take another quick one. He gives it forward. It wasn't the best of passes, but it comes to Michael Cunningham. Desi Cunningham, in fact, it was. Desi Cunningham gave it forward to Michael Cunningham. He was fouled. Now he takes it forward. Knocks it forward looking for Aidan Burke. Hands there, grab for it. It's Paul Hegarty. In fact, it's Paddy Gavigan. Paddy Gavigan outside the 21 metre line. He gives it back to Paddy Hegarty. He's told he was over carrying the ball, and well, Paddy Gavigan will feel a bit aggrieved about that, but the referee was right beside him, and Mick McGrath's been quick to pull up. Changes all over the park. Noel Hegarty's back at centre half back. John Paul Curran and Paddy Hegarty are forming a new midfield partnership for Naomh Columba, and I'm not quite sure who's gone to centre half forward. It could in fact be Seamus Carr or Paddy Gavigan who's playing. Looks like Paddy Gavigan who's playing centre half forward at this stage. The ball's dropping inside the Naomh Columba half. John Paul Curran fisted down, comes to Conal Gallagher. Conal Gallagher's shot is a big high one. Jimmy White trying to get there, but he completely misjudged it. Ewan McIntyre will pick it up. He's been tackled. He's been fouled by Mark Boyle. McIntyre wants to take it quickly. Gives it forward to Aidan Burke. He's been lively. Faced there by Carberry, but Burke's round him. Gives it into Paddy Hegarty. Noel Hegarty's going forward off him. Paddy Hegarty, good challenge there by Carberry. Pushed to the ground, however, the referee says it's going to be a free. And Paddy Hegarty plays a long dropping ball in towards the 14 metre line. Beautiful fielding in there by Dennis Carberry, the full-back, so strong in the air. Grabbed that one, and now the referee says that he overcarried the ball. And it's going to be a free in and a chance for Naomh Columba to reduce the deficit even further. And Naomh Columba, if they're anything, they're real fighters. Barry Cunningham's having a strong word with the forward players on the Killybegs side, but this Naomh Columba side seem to react best when they're behind. They're behind by 3 points, but Noel Hegarty has an opportunity to make that 2 with his third point of the second half. There's been 2 frees so far. This is just slightly to the right of goals, but in the 14 metre line, he chips it over the bar, and Noel Hegarty scored 2 points in a row. The deficit of 4 has been cut to 2. It's now 9 points to 7, and we've got 7.5 minutes to go in the game. 22.5 gone in the second half. David Meehan having a strong word with some of his teammates as he comes to place the ball on the edge of the 21 metre line. The changes, as I said, right around the park. Noel Hegarty's marking Manus Boyle. Paddy Hegarty's marking Barry Cunningham. John Paul Curran is marking Barry McGowan at the moment. A strong triangle there in the middle of the park for Killybegs. Declan Boyle forming another part of it, of course. A centre half back. Hands drop for that one, but Barry McGowan's the hands that get it. Barry McGowan turns away from 2 challenges. Inside the Naomh Columba half, plays a good strong ball across. Barry Cunningham's got it. He's got a man free, but a very good challenge there by Desi Cunningham. But the referee not too happy about the second challenge, which came from Seamus Carr, and it's going to be a free, and Manus Boyle will take this one. This free is just inside the 45 metre line, and Manus Boyle will have an opportunity to increase the lead to 3 points again. Manus Boyle to take this free from the 21 metre line, from just inside the 45 metre line, and an opportunity to increase the lead to 10 points to 7. An important kick this for Manus Boyle. It looks to be pretty good. It's drifting, and it's drifting good enough to go over the bar. Manus Boyle scores well. It's 10 points to 7, and Killybegs are 3 points in the lead again. 23, almost 24 minutes gone, so just over 6 minutes to go. John Joe Doherty's having a word there with Desi Cunningham. Kevin Doherty knocking the ball forward. Noel Hegarty going for Manus Boyle, fisted the ball forward. This is Paul Callahan. John Joe Doherty, a good challenge on him. The ball's picked up, will seem to be thrown, but it comes to John Joe Doherty. He's fouled by 2 Killybegs men, and it's going to be a free out. John Joe wants to take it quickly, gives it out to Paddy Hegarty. Not the greatest of passes. Paddy had to work hard to get to it. Barry Cunningham tried to tackle him, but this is Paddy Hegarty going well. He's got Noel Hegarty running forward of him. Will he give it to him? He will. Noel Hegarty has it. He's got a man forward of him as well. It wasn't a great pass. It's intercepted by Barry McGowan. Barry McGowan did very well on that occasion. Barry McGowan deep in his own defence, turning away. He's tackled by 2 or 3 Naomh Columba men, and well, the referee decided that he was overcarrying it. There wasn't very much he could do because he was been tackled by 3 players. But another chance for Naomh Columba to reduce the deficit as we come up to just 5 minutes to go, just over 5 minutes to go in fact as I speak. Noel Hegarty with an opportunity to score again. He's got all 3 points for Naomh Columba in the second half. They haven't managed to score from play, and that's been the significant thing, although they're still in this game with a chance. This is Noel Hegarty. Noel Hegarty's shot's a good one over the crossbar. It goes 10 points to 8 it is. So Naomh Columba aren't out of the running yet. There's still chances for them to come back because we've just got less than 5 minutes to go. 7 points in total for Noel Hegarty. That's a fantastic return for Naomh Columba's leading goal scorer. 7 points out of a possible 8. And perhaps if he'd received any support from his forwards at all, Naomh Columba wouldn't be behind. David Meehan in no great hurry to get on with it. 25 minutes and 45 seconds gone in the second half. This match is brought to you in association today with Heaney's U-Drop in Navanny Street in Ballybofey. We thank them for their support and enable us to bring you this game this afternoon. This is Paddy Hegarty. Paddy Hegarty trying to force his way forward, gives it forward to Seamus Carr. Well, the referee again incurring the wrath of the crowd and the Naomh Columba players because Paddy Hegarty did get the pass away. It went to Seamus Carr, but the referee was in the process of blowing up. Carr would have been away had he been let go, but the referee Mick McGrath decided that he wasn't going to get away, and Noel Hegarty will have to be satisfied with another opportunity to score from a free. This one is just outside the 45 metre line, so little that it doesn't really matter. It's dead straight in front of goals. If he could manage to put this one over the crossbar, there would have been only 1 point between them. Noel Hegarty coming forward on the right foot, takes the kick. That one's drifting to the right. 2 or 3 have gone to the right on Noel Hegarty so far today. He wasn't able to keep the accuracy. He's a tired looking Noel Hegarty at the moment, but what a fantastic game he's had so far for his team today. He scored all their 4 points in the second half. His total is 7 out of a total of 8, and he's had a very, very good return. Now it's David Meehan coming forward again. David takes a kick out, right footed. Paddy Gavigan trying to get there. Barry Cunningham there as well. Barry Cunningham fisted forward looking for Paul Callaghan. Paul Callaghan about to be tackled by Aidan Burke. Naomh Columba continuing to work hard. It's in Manus Boyle in the central position. Manus Boyle shoots. That looks to be a great score, is it, from Manus Boyle? Fantastic score from Manus Boyle. Beautifully taken point there by the man who started at full forward, but he's out now at centre half forward. See John Cunningham and John Baker Boyle encouraging their teammates away on the far side. Cunningham missing this game, of course, through suspension, but he's up there across at the halfway line encouraging the Killybegs men. The lead is restored to 3, 11 points to 8. Naomh Columba perhaps need a goal now. 27 minutes and 45 seconds gone. Manus Boyle was fouling his immediate opponent. It's a free to Naomh Columba. Mark Boyle doesn't want them to take it quickly. Ewan McIntyre wants to take it quickly. John Paul Curran calling for a short one. He knocks the ball out this time. This is Aidan Burke. Aidan Burke with Paul Hegarty forward of him. Burke's deciding to run. Carberry, the referee decides that Burke is fouled and it's going to be a free in, and Naomh Columba need to get everybody in. Noel Hegarty's coming out to take this one again, but with less than 2 minutes to go, they really need to get the ball into the danger area. No goals in this senior championship final, but a goal now would be a dramatic one, and perhaps that one that Paddy Gavigan thought he had could be talked about for a long time. But I will say again that Mick McGrath had blown the whistle before Noel Hegarty took the free quickly. Killybegs defending well. Carberry coming out so strong in possession. Left-footed clearance. It looks like a come off Paul Callaghan. Well, Paul Callaghan was claiming it. Desi Cunningham was there as well, but the linesman Peter Hughes says it's a Naomh Columba ball. A long ball in. 2 or 3 Killybegs men there. Barry Cunningham got hands. It comes to Peter McGinley. He fists the ball out to Manus Boyle. Manus Boyle steps round John Paul Curran, gives it to Barry Cunningham. Barry Cunningham gives it to Francis Murray. Francis Murray gives it to Declan Boyle. Good interplay between them. John Van Gollard wasn't a great pass from Declan Boyle, but Jimmy White may get there. Jimmy White has it. He's on the ground. He's got support outside him. He throws the ball down. It's a free. It's knocked forward now to Paddy Hegarty. Paddy Hegarty. Noel Hegarty calling for it, but he's surrounded. Paddy Hegarty does very, very well. He stepped around 3 or 4 challenges. High challenge by Barry Cunningham. Now it's out to Sean Gavigan. Well forward. Sean Gavigan into Noel Hegarty. Noel Hegarty, the determined man, trying to go forward again. Bursting around 2 or 3 tackles, seemed to carry it a bit far, but the referee says he was fouled going through. And now Noel Hegarty and Dennis Carberry involved in a little bit of argy-bargy. This is very silly. This is very, very silly. Very, very silly. People getting involved there. Paddy Gavigan, I think, absolutely no need for it whatsoever. Noel Hegarty was certainly fouled. He reacted to the foul just with a push, and then people went in swinging fists. And this has been a good, hard, clean sporting game. There's no need for this situation at all. Referee Mick McGrath in very quickly there. And now one or two of the Killybegs players say, are you going to throw the ball up, referee? I don't believe that Mick McGrath will. Kempers have settled down, and it would be sad to see this game end on a sour note as we move into injury time. Naomh Columba really need a goal because we've moved into injury time. Killybegs have, well, at least 9 players between Noel Hegarty and the goal. 5 of them are on the goal line. Noel Hegarty decides to chip it over the bar to make it 11 points to 9, so perhaps he feels there's going to be a couple of minutes injury time. Killybegs themselves, of course, came back a couple of weeks ago against Red Hughes with a dramatic 2 goals and 2 points salvo in the last 10 minutes to clinch victory there. They lead by 2, 11 points to 9. Half a minute gone of injury time. Mick McGrath looked at the watch, but there possibly will be a little bit of injury time because there was 1 or 2 stoppages. Some of the crowd leaving. They feel perhaps that it's over, but well, it's perhaps early to say that yet. John Van Gallagher going for it. Who will get the breaking ball? Paul Callahan of Killybegs plays a long ball forward. Mark Boyce trying to get there with Ewan McIntyre. Jimmy White's there as well. Jimmy White, a dramatic goal perhaps at the end. Jimmy White's shot just clips the post and goes wide. The player manager almost finished on a blaze of glory, but that would have certainly finished it. But now an injury to Jimmy White in that clash, and referee Mick McGrath says he's going to allow time for Jimmy White to receive treatment. It certainly would have been a dramatic finish. Jimmy White's fisted effort just clipped the outside of the post and went wide. And as we move a minute and a half into injury time, Michael McGee looks as if Killybegs are going to take their second championship on the trot. But really, perhaps those misses in the first half looked as if they were going to rule them out. But Naomh Columba's failure to score in the second half, really the difference between the sides.
Yeah, it looks as if Killybegs are well on their way, and but one must admit like that when they do move, they're that much superior. They're very, very fast on the break. They're very, very fast on the interchange and all that. But coupled with that, of course, is the fact that Columba missed those 3 or 4 frees in the second half, where they're proving vital at this stage.
Well, Naomh Columba on the move now with John Joe Doherty. High challenge, the referee says play on, and now a chance for Killybegs to break away. This is John Van Gallagher going forward. John Van giving him to Jimmy White. Naomh Columba trying to get men back, but Jimmy White on the right foot shoots, and he shoots over the bar, and surely that's the insurance point. Jimmy White has his hands raised in the air. He runs away out towards the dugout. The Killybegs bench are on their feet again. That restores the 3-point lead, the safe point perhaps. There in fact goes the final whistle, and Killybegs are champions again for 1992. They retain their title. Noel Hegarty not very happy with Mick McGrath. He's having a strong word with the referee there. And well, the game's over now. Noel Hegarty, I suppose, not too happy with 1 or 2 of the decisions, and expressing that to the referee Mick McGrath. But Killybegs players quick to intervene there and get in there. The Naomh Columba player manager very disappointed, but at the end of the day it was a side's failure perhaps to score from play in the second half, which is the undoing of the team. Shaking his head, Manus Boyle coming across to have a word with him. A word between the two inter-county stars. Naomh Columba player manager, as you can expect, pretty disappointed, but that's the way it's ended today. 12 points to 9 in favour of Killybegs. They retain their championship. A hard battle here for them. 4 points all at half time. They added 8 points in the second half, and perhaps the point scoring of Manus Boyle, a couple of lovely points from play, made the difference. He also knocked over a couple from frees, but at the end of the day, a 3-point gap between them. We'll go back to the studio and take a short break. You can rejoin us in a couple of minutes again, and we'll update you on the reaction from both camps to that great result for Killybegs, another championship victory for them. Rejoin us in 2 or 3 minutes time.
Chairman of the Donegal County Board, Mr. Noel Hegarty, will present the Dr. McCumhaill Cup to the captain of the victorious Killybegs team, Barry McGowan. And the presentation now to the man of the match has been made to Noel Hegarty of Naomh Columba. The Sam McGuire Cup is on show directly below me here in the press box.
We can't see it. Up the ball on the
Very Reverend Dr. McGowan Cup is being made by the Chairman of Sports and Holidays, Mr. Naomh Columba, to the captain of the Killybegs team, McGowan.
3 or 4 minutes, okay.
Ah, sure.
Want to give them the Sam
Manus Boyle.
McGarty going yours could be going.
Outsiders coming in here and telling us that.
And I'm never
Well, Miles, you can actually stay with your results there because the presentations are still ongoing here and we're just waiting for one or two people to join us in our commentary position. So you possibly could give those athletic results, Miles, and come over to us then. Oh, come on, Pio.
Giving Mickey Campbell.
How did you enjoy the trip to Donegal?
Enjoyed it, alright. It's very good. It was nice. Wee break. Wee break.
Who was out in Tory today? Who? I forgot to listen to that show this morning. Well, you're welcome back once again to McCumhaill Park. I'm delighted to say I've been joined by two Killybegs men, team captain Barry McGowan and full-back Dennis Carberry. Barry, first of all, everyone expected to be pretty close. 13 wides in the game, 9, I suppose, more importantly in the first half, and you really made it hard for yourselves.
I hadn't actually realised we'd kicked that many wides, but I knew that in the first 15 minutes it was fairly serious, that we had a lot of possession but we weren't making use of it. But it's a great testimony to the team, and a fairly young team at that they kept their heads, and we always believed in ourselves and we never panicked. And we knew that if we would win possession, that we would always be capable of getting scores, and I think that stood to us right to the very end. Like I say, we never panicked, and in the end we came through all right. Yeah.
Given the fact that you had so much possession in the first half, going in 4 points all at half time, I'm sure Naomh Columba were happier than Killybegs. Jimmy White, I'm sure, had one or two stern words to say at that stage.
Yes, I mean, like you said, we had a lot of possession, and yet we were only level at half time. But in saying that, we knew that we had played the better football in the first half, and we knew that if we came out in the second half and played with the same determination, that we should come out tops at the end of the day. But full credit to Jimmy White. Once again, this year more so than any other year, with a lot of lads involved in county level, minor and senior. But it's very hard to raise them for the county final. And full credit to Jimmy White. He kept us together all year, and he done the important work, and I think it showed there today. Yeah.
Dennis, Killybegs' defence under a bit of pressure at times. I can remember Seamus Carr having one opportunity in the first half when a breaking ball came his way, but really in the second half you closed it down very well, and the fact that Naomh Columba didn't manage to score from play in the second half tested me to some good defending.
Yeah, well, like the defence really has been playing very well all year. Like we worked very hard in our marking, training and all that there. We play a lot of backs and forwards, and we work really hard at closing men down when they're in possession, trying to dispossess them more than get on the tackle, and concentrate a lot on the blocking, But things really worked well today for us. We're under pressure in the first half, and the forwards weren't getting the scores. But in the second half, things fell right for us. We held them out good, and we soaked up the pressure. But forwards started scoring, then it helped a lot for us.
Well, we were a bit confused here at the start because apart from yourself, I don't think there was a Killybegs man took the position that he was down for in the first half. So obviously a bit of pre-planning went in as regards mark and danger men. Michael Campbell moving out to mark Seamus Carr, and then Seamus Carr ended up going in and full forward.
Yeah, it's a bit of confusion for us too. Like one was looking at the other to see where we'd pick up men, like, and but we weren't too worried like about their danger men. Like because we've been playing the same backline most of the year. Like well, apart from John Cunningham, and like we pretty taken any pressure at all. Like we weren't too worried about who was going to be in what position.
Was there at any stage, Barry, in the second half there? You got a good start to the second half with those 2 points to go 6-4 up. Naomh Columba battled back again. Was any time you were really worried?
When we play Glen, you're always worried because they're a wholehearted team under the guidance of Michael Oliver. In this stage, Glen are capable of coming back, and that was a testament. Even though we played well, we were never really able to pull away from Glen, and that's it's great credit to a Glen side who are full of stars in their own right and a very good footballing side. And I think it showed there today that it was a good footballing game, a good clean game, and it's always like that against Glen football teams.
I'm sure there's going to be one incident that's going to be talked about in Killybegs and particularly in Glen, and my reading of the situation was when Noel Hegarty released the ball into Paddy Gavigan, Mick McGrath had already blown for the free to be taken back to the spot that he was fouled, but some of the Glen players weren't too happy about the decision. You were obviously closer to the situation, Barry.
Yeah, I was right beside it. In fairness to Mick McGrath, the whole game we had a couple of chances as well where we had frees and it was taken quickly, and I suppose you could argue that advantage should be played, but Mick is the referee out there in the day and he implies the rules, and everybody has to stick to them.
Well, 2 champions out of 3 now. There's always question marks about Killybegs because of the talent in the squad, Barry, but perhaps now people will begin to say that they've fulfilled the potential that has been there for quite some time.
Well, I think that we confirmed that a long time ago that Killybegs had arrived, and we just put concrete on it there today that we hope to be around for a long time to come.
Finally, Dennis, a great run in the Ulster Club Championship last year, of course, up to the final, when I think most people, even the Killybegs people, feel you didn't do yourself justice. You're back in there now, and I'm sure you'll be hoping to put that performance behind you and go all the way this year.
Yeah, there's a big driving force this year, especially like we're beating Ulster final last year. Like our main aim this year was to get back into the Ulster final, and we're playing on a skill, I think, in 2 weeks' time, and that's going to be our main aim, to get back into the Ulster final again, and this time maybe go a step further.
Dennis and Barry, thanks for talking with me. Many congratulations. Well, we've been joined by Michael Oliver McIntyre, Naomh Columba, player coach and an experienced man over years. Michael, everyone in Glen very disappointed, I'm sure. The fact that you didn't score from play perhaps in the second half, Michael, was really the undoing of the team.
Yeah, we're very disappointed, and having said that, the best team on the day won. We had no complaints at all. We were well beaten, and we could have been beaten by a lot more.
Killybegs had lots of possession in the first half, Michael Oliver. Going in 4 points at all at half time, I suggested to Barry McGowan, Glen would have been the happier side at that stage.
Well, we were reasonably happy, but we were still, we knew that we had to play a lot better if we were going to win. We had too many men that weren't sort of playing up to their potential.
Yeah. You've lots of inexperienced players in the team, and that really puts the emphasis on the more experienced players to produce the goods. And in fairness, John Joe Doherty and Noel Hegarty and Paddy Hegarty really tried their hearts out there and played very well, but it was asking too much of them really to carry the rest of maybe the players who weren't really putting their game together right through.
Yeah, well, I haven't said that as well. John Joe and Noel and Paddy probably played well, but there are times that the ball was being held up, and I felt it would have been better if we'd been releasing the ball in early to our forwards,
Interesting point that, because Killybegs started in that format, over-elaborating, and Glen didn't do it initially. The start of the second half, that seemed to really come into your team, Michael.
Very much so. I thought the second half, most of our forwards, if the ball had to go in right and early, that had the beating of the Killybegs back, and Mick McGrath was very strict today. He kept the game well under control, and we were capable of winning frees,
What about the situation we talked to Barry McGowan and Dennis there, if that situation where Paddy Gavigan knocked the ball into the net? I said my reading of the situation was the whistle was going or gone by the time Noel released the ball, Michael.
I would say, yeah, that would be it, definitely. But some days they go for you, other days they don't, and it might have made a bearing, but, having said that, I have no complaints to the referee at all today. He did an excellent game.
Fair comment, Michael. What about Glen now? A lot of hard work's gone in. Winners in 1990, beaten semi-finalists last year, beaten finalists this year. Obviously plenty of talent there.
Well, the talent's there, and we put in a big effort this year, trained very hard. Noel put in a lot of work with them, and he did really train them hard. But when I came home from Paris at just around Easter time, I went up to Cloughaneely and in a league match, and Glen were a far cry from a county final that day. They improved a lot, and the work has paid off in that respect. It's no no discredit to be beaten by Killybegs here today. It's a great achievement for the club. Small lady, you know.
Killybegs back-to-back championships now, and again, I suppose, beginning to at last fulfil their potential.
Oh yeah, they're a tremendous team. I'm missing John Cunningham there today as well. He's a big loss to any team, but they have 5 or 6 the nucleus of a great, a core of a team, and they work on that. They play around it and they bring everybody into the game, the type of football they play, so nobody's out of the game for a long period, Very strong, and I wish them all the best in the Ulster club this year as well. I think they can go all the way, go a step further this year.
Well, I'm sure everyone agrees. Michael Oliver, thanks for coming up and talking.
Okay, Charlie, thanks.
Michael Oliver McIntyre there of Naomh Columba talking to us. Well, that's about the situation here today. An underage game about to take place, and Noel Hegarty named man of the match. He's in the vicinity somewhere. We're trying to actually get our hands on him to have a quick word with him just before we hand you back to the studio. But Noel Hegarty given the man of the match award. What a great year he's had, and hopefully it'll culminate in him being awarded with an all-star for 1992. I'm sure no man deserves it more. He's just been interviewed here away to our left hand side, but we'll try and get a word with him just before we wrap up our coverage here today. Miles, of course, will have news from all the other sporting events in the roundup, which is coming your way in about a half an hour's time, but lots of results to come in right throughout the day, and of course everyone waiting anxiously for the results from Lavey in the Breffany Park. 1 or 2 people inquiring of us here. I'm not just sure if Noel's available.
He never came on the lens for the last 10 19.
I'll hold it.
Not going to be it.
Is it on video?
Lavey 1. 9-8.
9-8. Cheers, I thought they were
Yes, P.O. Thank you very much and welcome back. Well, we've got the Naomh Columba player manager, Noel Hegarty, the man of the match, 8 points out of 9, but not enough today, Noel, really. I suppose a bit more support from your forward line, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, would have been the difference between winning and losing.
Well, the Killybegs backs were very strong, and fair play to them. They deserved to win, Killybegs. Our forwards were very small, and we didn't expect a terrible lot more from them. Well, if we had to get that goal, or maybe a couple more points, it might have been closer.
Yeah. 4 points all at half-time, Noel, and they had plenty of possession and knocked over 9 wide. So I'm sure at half-time you felt pretty pleased and really you were well in the game at that stage.
Yeah, we were very hopeful at half-time, but as time went on, they seemed to get a better grip on the game. They kicked a lot of wides the first half, and I thought, that they were well spun out, but they seemed to find another gear towards the end.
Yeah. They found another gear immediately after half-time as well, Noel, when they went 6-4 up, and then Naomh Columba came back again. But really, it looked a different, more determined Killybegs in the second half.
Yeah, well, they seemed to be able to throw the ball over and back between their big players. What seemed to be the difference, Barry McGowan and Declan Boyle coming forward. Seemed to be the difference on the day.
Manus Boyle, of course, in the second half scored a couple of very good points that we've become accustomed to seeing him, but they really lifted Killybegs.
Manus Boyle, I think, scored two very good points, that really did lift them. I think that probably was the turning point of the game.
Well, I'm sure Naomh Columba, we talked to Michael Oliver, everyone very disappointed, but you can't really be disappointed with the effort the team's put in this year, no?
No, they trained terrible hard. You can't be disappointed. As a very young team, and they'll learn a lot from this experience. And next year we might put harder on whoever's in it, hopefully.
Well, everybody has their own reading of that disallowed goal situation. You're the man involved, so we're going to get a feeling from you on it, and I know you have strong feelings on it, Noel.
Well, I have strong feelings on it, but the whistle seemed to have gone, and then I seemed to be allowed to kick the ball then, to play advantage. Once I put the ball through, it seemed to be blown up. I thought it was very unfair. So that's the way. The ref can't see everything, I suppose, but there are a lot of people very disgusted, to say the least, in Glen.
Yeah. Well, I suppose these are the decisions that either go or for against you really in big matches, no?
Yeah. Well, the referee, he tries his best like everyone else.
Well, Noel, what about yourself now? I know you've had a hard slog, playing for Donegal, playing for Naomh Columba and managing them. The National League starting next Sunday again, so there's not going to be much respite for you.
Well, I'd like to try and get rest from training now, so we'll have to see what happens. Maybe Mr. McGrath wouldn't be too happy with that, so we'll have to see what happens in the near future. I would like to take a rest anyway, for a couple of weeks at least.
Well, I'm sure, as you say, I'll be surprised if he doesn't ask you to talk about it at least next Sunday. Noel, hard luck today, but well done.
Thank you, Charlie.
Noel Hegarty there, PO. rounding off our coverage here from McCumhaill Park in Ballybofey. Disappointed Noel Hegarty, as you would expect, player manager. He's had a great summer, and I'm sure they're going to be looking for big things for him in the National League, but he deserves a rest if any player does. So that's about it. Many thanks, Pio, for yourself and Martina and Mide's cooperation this afternoon back in the studio. Michael McGee and Tom Comic have been with me here, and Packy, as usual, has looked after sound, of course. That about wraps up our coverage from McCumhaill Park. Still plenty of sports news between now and 6 o'clock on Highland Radio Sport. But from McCumhaill Park, a very good afternoon. It's back to you, Pio.
Jerry, she looked better than many of them. Girl, she's far better. Right, girl, it's in his phone. Come on, Mary. I taught them all enough. It's full of biscuits. It's automatic range on free.